February 24th, 4 people from Cincinnati, Darren Elliott, Ian Overton, Stephanie Kidwell, and Amanda Meyer, are about to be arrested by troopers on I-475 near Toledo after they were stopped for speeding.
I'd like everyone put their hands up on the seats for me.
Inside the car, troopers find more than 10 pounds of marijuana-based product purchased just hours before from a dispensary in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The people in the car inform troopers the marijuana is medicine. And they try to show their medical marijuana cards.
I have the card. Okay.
Issued by this Toledo doctor.
We were operating under the assumption that the law was on our side.
The troopers arrest them anyway.
But that's not legal in Ohio.
The matter is up today for arraignment.
All 4 now face multiple felony counts of possession and trafficking in marijuana and hashish, which is difficult for Darren Elliott, one of the 4 charged, to comprehend.
Next thing we know, we get things in the mail indicted on charges, and we're facing 33 years in prison.
What Darren and the others relied on is something called the affirmative defense. Simply speaking, that means if Darren and the others adhered to the guidelines of the new law, there should be no legal consequences. But when it comes to this law, like so many others here at the Ohio Statehouse, it's never quite that simple.
The bill's just the framework, so if you fit within the framework, you could apply affirmative defense.
State Senator David Burke, a pharmacist who was one of the lead legislators behind Ohio's medical marijuana law, stated in October of 2016, willing physicians are in the free and clear to recommend cannabis and would be covered by affirmative defense. But when I found Senator Burke just days ago in the hallway of the State House, he told me only courts can decide if you're truly covered.
Not the judicial branch. You'd have to look at what the law says and apply affirmative defense into the bill the way it's written.
Are you worried about the confusion this creates?
No.
What about the people who need it and are using it?
Well, again, looking at affirmative defense, if you apply the bill to your affirmative defense, the court would have to decide whether or not you fit in those parameters.
So according to lawmakers, the case of the 4 from Cincinnati is where it belongs, even if a doctor,
No one else is questioning what we do except this court on this day.
and his patients
They need a free to leave.
thought medical marijuana cards
I have the card.
were enough to cover them.
You have right, remain silent, and he's taken.
Ironically, this case could be decided after September. That's when the state medical marijuana program is scheduled to officially begin, which means everyone with a medical marijuana card issued by the state at that point will not have to use any defense at all. I'll tell you what happens next. I'm Duane Pohlman, Local 12.
Now, an Ohio couple is facing a dozen charges and they could lose their daughter. In a Local 12 exclusive investigation, Duane Pohlman shows us the problem is they were using marijuana as medicine.
In the quiet northwestern Ohio village of Rockford, population 1,200, corn is king. But marijuana is now making its mark here too, thanks to 16 drug-related charges filed against Glenn Keeley and 15 charges filed against his wife, Peggy Kimmel.
They've told us that we're criminals.
Are you criminals?
No.
Are you bad people?
No.
It all began at the couple's home on October 31st.
Halloween night.
Someone knocks and you open it, right?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you see?
About 11 cops.
Those officers had a warrant to search for drugs.
Did they say what they were doing here?
They were here to take my drugs and guns and anything else that I had in the house that I wasn't supposed to.
Were you shocked?
I was.
Glenn suffers from Crohn's disease, and his doctor recommended marijuana as the best medicine.
Did it help you?
Yes. I was able to eat better. I had more of an appetite. I was able to get out of bed.
So when Rockford police officers and Mercer County Sheriff's deputies came, Glenn says he led them straight to his marijuana.
So I just gave them everything. It was like, well, here's everything I have.
But when he tried to show his medical marijuana card issued by an Ohio doctor, it didn't matter.
I said, well, I have a medical card for what I have. And he says, well, there's no medical program in Ohio. I don't care about your card.
They didn't care about Peggy's card, issued by the same doctor either.
I said, "What is going on? I don't understand."
Peggy suffers from multiple sclerosis. The marijuana, she says, was a miracle medicine.
I can walk without using a cane or a walker.
Recommended by a doctor, marijuana had replaced countless pills, shots, and other pharmaceuticals that a biopsy revealed were harming Peggy's liver.
I was scared to death because I thought if you don't have a liver, you just die.
Peggy's 14-year-old daughter, Tina, watched as marijuana helped her mom improve.
My mom could walk.
Tina was awakened by police. That night, they came into her home.
What do you think about all the police coming in and doing this?
I was scared. I didn't know what was going on.
Among the charges Peggy and Glenn face, a count of child endangering. Even though Mercer County Child and Family Services stated that the family has many strengths, including a desire to protect Tina and provide for her basic needs when it closed the case.
They feel that she is safer with us than anywhere else.
But safety has been shattered for the entire family. That night, the police came.
I ended up leaving with them.
In cuffs?
Yes, in cuffs.
I reached out to the prosecutor, Matt Fox, to discuss the case. He sent files, but declined to comment.
All rise.
On June 13th, we were in the Celina courtroom as Peggy and Glenn faced a judge. Prosecutor Fox argued that their bond be conditional on drug testing.
They consume no alcohol or drugs of abuse and subject themselves to random testing.
Peggy's attorney argued marijuana is essential medicine.
Over the past few months, there have been an increasing number of lesions on her brain. Using of the marijuana tends to alleviate some of her suffering.
And in a surprise move, the judge agreed, issuing bond conditions that include use of medical marijuana. Now, paperwork is posted at the same door police walk through on Halloween night to advise anyone who enters that Peggy and Glenn are legally using medical marijuana, even though they're still facing serious charges for doing just that.
If you could say one thing to this prosecutor, what would you say?
I'm sorry that he thinks I'm a criminal. I did not knowingly do anything wrong. I am not a criminal. I am afraid so bad I would not ever break the law on purpose of any kind.
Ohio made medical marijuana legal 2 years ago, but as we've been reporting, it has yet to officially issue those medical marijuana cards. So Glenn and Peggy, their doctor, and many others are relying on something called the affirmative defense. That's an argument that people can't be charged with crimes if they stay within the guidelines of the new law. By the way, if they're found guilty, Glenn and Peggy face more than 50 years behind bars. I'm Duane Pohlman, Local 12 News.